these guys can make 20, $30 million in a year. Legitimately.
The World Series of Poker, losing $1.1 million over 48 days. What were you going through mentally during that?
I'd say the one thing I'm most proud of throughout the entire thing is the resilience, because there are moments you see me where I'm broken. I'm just like, I can't take it. I broke a selfie stick this year. Like, I was filming it because, I do for my vlog. I smashed the stick, threw it in the corner, right? It's just, that was my like hit rock bottom moment. And then I put the camera on me and I was like, all right, I let people see it. But mentally it was very difficult because there was a feeling of hopelessness where I was making good decisions. Like, I genuinely felt like I'm playing really, really well. But every time my money went in and my opponent's money went in, and say I was 60%, 70%, 80% for about a 2-week stretch, I lost every one of those. And you start to wonder, you're like, man, I can't win if I never win, in these spots. So it was difficult. Luckily, I have, 20 odd years of experience on how to deal with it. And so, as I said, I wake up the next day ready to go.
So as if nothing happened.
To a certain degree, obviously, the more it happens in the higher buy-ins, like the one where I broke the selfie stick, I lost 500,000 in that tournament, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the last card. It was painful.
So what aspects of the mental game in poker is most difficult to master?
I think the most difficult thing for people is self-awareness, right? And resilience. Self-awareness to know, okay, so, again, am I not doing as well as I could be because of luck? Or is there things that I can learn? And I always look to mistakes as opportunities. I really do. When I make a mistake in a poker hand, right? Call it a breakdown or whatever. That's where breakthroughs happen. Where I'm like, oh, you know what I could have done here? I could have done this, and that would have been really good. And I'm going to do that going forward. So I think, like with anything, when you start out playing golf, like your goal is to just hit the ball, right? Then you try to hit it in the air. Then you're trying to hit it straight. Then you're trying to hit it on the green. Then you're trying to hit it closer to the green, to the point where the pros get, where, they're so finite. They're trying to hit it 63 yards and spin it back 3 yards. It's imperfect. Like, they don't hit the perfect shot, because the perfect shot for them is it goes in. But they try and make the mistakes smaller and smaller and smaller. Poker's the same. We all make mistakes consistently. The goal is to minimize, especially the big ones.
What was the lowest point for you psychologically? In poker in general, actually. Maybe it was this year, maybe it was in general. Do you remember there was times in your life, speaking of resilience, that were extremely difficult to you mentally?
Yeah, so early on, as a teenager, I was playing in Toronto, and then in my early 20s, I'm like, I'm going to Vegas, right? And I thought I was the best. I'm like 21 years old. I'm like, check me out, right? Yeah. Show up with $3,000, 24 hours later, money's gone. And I remember the moment vividly. It was at the Binion's Horseshoe. It was about 3 a.m. I was playing with 7 other people. I lost my last chips. I went to the bathroom, washed up, got out. They all left. And it was like a moment where I realized, like, okay, in Toronto, I was the big fish. But here, they were playing because of me. I was the sucker. I remembered every one of their faces. And then I remember not having enough money to get back to budget suites where I was staying. So I walked. I walked. And in that moment, I was thinking about, like, is this something that I'll be able to do? Am I good enough? What am I going to do now? I'm in Vegas. I don't know anybody and I have no money. Right. So that was certainly like what felt like a low point, walking back behind Paradise and Twain, which is not a great part of town.
Where did you find the strength to answer yes to that question, that you can still do good?
I think this has been sort of a pattern in my life where, like, in the evening after it happens, like, I don't have it. I don't have that feeling of hope or, resilience, if you will. I'm allowing myself to experience despair, which is exactly where I'm at. But then a good night's sleep, wake up the next morning, and just within me, I have that inner confidence to say, you know what? Fuck it. Get back on the hobby horse, find a way, make it work. Right. But I do believe it's really therapeutic and worthwhile to allow yourself to feel and vent. Yeah. So many people today, the Instagram culture world, I call it, it's like they want to act like they're perfect. Nothing bothers them. Bullshit, right? You're pissed off. It's okay to show it. Emotion's fine. We all have it. There's no reason you have to suppress it. Obviously, you don't want to have guys throwing selfie sticks around the room every time they lose a pot, right?
Yeah.
But a little
You're going to make everybody feel unsafe.
Yeah, exactly.
If that happens.
Yeah.
So you're saying there is a culture of saying, stay positive, all this kind of stuff. But, when you feel despair, don't resist it. Write it out.
Because it doesn't go away, right? That feeling, you think you put it away in the pit of your stomach and you think, it's gone. It's not. It's still there. Let yourself go, frank.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit emotional, because once you've experienced it, you let it out. Now you can move past it.
Yeah. And I feel like as long as your brain chemistry can support it, you can usually learn a good lesson from it. Like you become stronger, you become more resilient through it. It's really interesting. And a good night's sleep can really help.
Absolutely. Yeah.